Johnson would lose their seats because he is polling badly, because his personal ratings have really dropped following Partygate. And some of them are worried now that it's not irreparable, and they are looking to 2024 when we are due an election, and they are thinking perhaps it's time mid-term to change the Prime Minister over to give us a better chance. They think perhaps the damage is irreparable, and that's the big question. Has he become a drag anchor on the Conservative brand? As you were saying earlier, Kay, there's two key by-elections this month, and what was interesting about this confidence vote was a number of MPs were saying to me before recess that they thought that Rebels might hold off until after those by-elections, because if Boris Johnson loses both, well, that is real dangerous territory for him, and so the momentum would really be against him, and that he's a proven vote winner would be in his face, shown to be untrue. But as I was saying earlier, this is not orchestrated. This is MPs individually taking a decision on conscience and putting letters in or not. And so this confidence vote, quite strangely, has probably become a bit quicker than those that really want to unseat him would have wanted. They would have perhaps wanted to wait until those by-elections and expected defeats to then press the button on Boris Johnson. As I was talking about earlier, if he wins the vote tonight under Conservative Party rules, he's safe for a year, but this happened to Theresa May, and 6 months later she was out. There is historical precedence here that Prime Ministers, once they face a confidence vote, even if they win it, they go on to lose in some form or another. John Major lost at the ballot box to Tony Blair. Margaret Thatcher was ousted just days or forced to resign after she won a confidence vote. And as I said, Theresa May limped on for 6 months and then was forced to resign. And for a Prime Minister that won an 80-seat majority 2.5 years ago to end up in this situation through a series of unforced errors really is quite astonishing. He had it in his power to become a transformative Prime Minister with a huge majority, and now he finds himself without the support of 15% or more of his own parliamentary party. So even if he survives it, what really can he do as Prime Minister if he's lost the confidence of a dozen of his own MPs?
OK, we'll chat to you again later on, Beth, but for now, thanks very much indeed. Let's just let that sink in for a second, should we? 15%, at least 15% of the Prime Minister's backbench MPs have decided that they have no faith in him, less than 3 years after he came to power. We'll have full coverage of that confidence vote. It's 6 p.m. tonight. Joining us is former President of YouGov, and that's Peter Kellner. Hi, Peter, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us on the programme this morning. Your thoughts, first of all?
My first thought, Kay, is that I'm not entirely sure it'll be settled tonight. If there's 180 votes against Boris Johnson's, it's settled. He's out. If the number of votes against him is, let's say, below 100, supposing he wins by sort of 270 to 90, something like that, he's fine. The tiger runs free. But I'm not sure by 8:10 tonight we will know whether the tiger has survived or is badly wounded, because somewhere between 100 and 179 votes against him, we're in a very strange place where he's technically won. He has the right under Tory rules to stay another year without facing another contest. But as we saw with Theresa May, you can technically win but be so badly wounded you just limp on for a few months and are then forced out. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's where we find ourselves in, 9 hours' time, 10 hours' time.
So just explain that to me. You're saying if he doesn't win by more than 100 votes, then he's held below the waterline.
No, I think if the Rebels or the anti-Johnson MPs are below 100,
I see.
I think Johnson runs clear. He's fine.
I understand.
But let's say, for example, he gets, 220 MPs and the Rebels are around 140, then he's won. He's technically safe. But is he really safe with more than a third of these MPs thinking he shouldn't be there? I think we enter a period of some months, and I personally would be astonished if you're still Prime Minister in 6 or 9 months. Let me say one other thing, Kate, in terms of the polling. There are 2 key facts, polling facts at the moment. The first is the Tory party is in not that bad shape in terms of, if you look at the local elections a month ago or the opinion polls, they're behind Labour, but not by very much. Past Tories in midterm have been in a far worse place and have come back to win. But, second key fact, Boris Johnson is desperately unpopular. The public has made up its mind about this Prime Minister. So my takeaway is, unless something extraordinary was to happen, I don't believe Boris Johnson can take the Conservatives to victory at the next election, but another Tory leader might well be able to take the Tories to victory.
So you're saying if there are fewer than 100 rebels, then he's safe, at least for now. But Peter, how many Conservative MPs have survived a vote of confidence in their premiership long term?
If you define long term as going on to stay as leader and win the next election, then in modern times it hasn't happened at all. I mean, John Major, he in fact stood down to provoke a leadership contest, in that case with John Redwood in, I think, 1995. John Major won reasonably comfortably, carried on to lead the Tories, but of course the Tories were pretty well wiped out 2 years later by Tony Blair and the Labour Party. Ian Duncan Smith lost a vote of confidence, he was out, and then Michael Howard was sort of coronation, there wasn't a contest. Theresa May won her contest, what was it, about 5 years ago now. Gosh, she won it by 200s to 117, almost 2-1. It was a victory, but 7 months later, she was gone. She was too badly wounded. And that's why my suspicion is, at 8:10 tonight, we will know that Boris Johnson is still alive as leader and as Prime Minister, but possibly too badly wounded to carry on a long term.
And from what you're saying, Peter, let me just take it one stage further. You were saying that, John Major kept fighting and fighting, but when it came to the election 2 years later, he was wildly unpopular, and the Conservative Party lost by 160 odd seats, probably even more. You'll know exactly the figure. But is that not what a lot of Conservative politicians will be thinking about today when they decide what to do when they're casting their ballot?
I'm sure that's right. And this is the one complication that gives Boris Johnson, fragments of hope. Is that the reason why John Major lost so badly in 1997 was because Labour had Tony Blair as its leader. He was fantastically popular, and I don't think any Tory leader would have done that much better than John Major. Whereas today, there is a much bigger live debate as to whether a leader other than Boris Johnson could do a lot better. And I believe if they choose the right leader, a leader that people believe is honest, is competent, is on their side, a Tory leader that's able to project those qualities could well lead the Tories to victory at the next election. I don't think a leader other than John Major could have won the 1997 election.
And who is it that the party might be looking towards to fulfil that role? I was talking to our political editor, Beth Rigby, a few moments ago, and she was talking about Penny Mordaunt, who has been tipped as a future leader. There are other people like Liz Truss. She fancies her chances, we're told, should the position arise. And as a dark horse, possibly Nadhim Zahawi.
Well, Nadhim and I worked together at YouGov for a decade. I don't want to ruin his political prospects, but I have a great deal of respect for him. He knows how to get things done. Kay, if Nadhim, if the program The Apprentice had been on 30 years ago, when Nadhim would have been a young man, he's the sort of person who would have won The Apprentice, hands down, in my view, because he has that ability, managerial leadership ability, to run things, to take decisions. Look at the way he ran the vaccine program very successfully. Nadhim's politics and mine are very different, but he has that leadership quality. Penny Mordaunt, I know fractionally, not well. I think she's got a lot of talent, but I go back, if I may, Kay, that if there is to be a leadership election, the question that Tory MPs with marginal seats need to ask, i.e., where they want a leader who's going to save them their own constituencies, the question they should ask is the candidate I like most, are they honest? Are they competent? Will the public see them as on their side? If the Tory MPs take an ideological view, do they say, is this person right on Brexit or on taxation or whatever? If they take an ideological view, they might well choose a new leader who can't win the next election. Winning elections is about a kind of personal as well as political qualities. And I'm not sure I could say there's any one person that obviously represents those qualities. That's what Tory MPs and possibly Tory party members locally will have to wrestle with, that question.
Okay, I'm going to leave you with this factoid because I know you like a stat, Peter. Alison McCallum, STV. Good morning to you, Alison. I hope you don't mind me stealing your tweet. Today is the date that Boris Johnson equals Gordon Brown's term as PM. So should he lose the vote, he would be joint shortest-serving Prime Minister since Douglas Hume. Should he survive today, he needs to keep going for another 59 days to be a PM longer than Theresa May. What do you think of that?
Well, even if he loses, I think he will be in a PM for 59 days because it'll take that long for the Conservative Party to elect a new leader. Let me offer you one fact in return. The by-elections, which still matter, in Wakefield and in Hollis and Tiverton, that is on the exact 6th anniversary of the Brexit referendum. An interesting anniversary.
How interesting. It's great to talk to you, Peter. Thanks very much indeed. Tamara nodding sagely at that.
Indeed, yes. The by-elections are on a very auspicious or perhaps inauspicious day. Of course, we all remember the Brexit vote and the day after when David Cameron stood right here on these steps and said he was not going to carry on as Prime Minister. Could that be an important anniversary, or is the moment for Boris Johnson going to come well before that? It must be said, if Boris Johnson loses tonight, he's unlikely to leave office immediately, so he will almost certainly stay in place while a leadership contest is held, which could take some weeks, or as Downing Street are telling MPs at the moment, could last some months. So he's likely to exceed Gordon Brown's term as Prime Minister, 2 years and 318 days, I think my colleague Joe Pike worked out, and probably going to exceed Theresa May, who did just over 3 years, because the contest will probably take some weeks. But certainly it is not what someone elected with the enormous majority that Boris Johnson was elected with 2.5 years ago would have expected to be ousted just a couple of years later. And if you look at the email that Boris Johnson has actually written to Conservative MPs, it's arrived in their inboxes in the last hour, he talks about COVID, the vaccine rollout, Ukraine, the lowest unemployment since 1974, and he says that the government is getting a grip by bringing in the Rwanda policy. We know that some MPs do not like that at all. Jesse Norman, one of them, said it was ugly and borderline illegal, and he says
Norman, who put in his letter
today with the strongest letter I think I've ever read while covering politics. And MPs will have to decide whether they feel there is a viable alternative leader and alternative programme on offer. But certainly, as we head into the vote at 6 o'clock this evening, I think Boris Johnson's allies haven't got long to try and talk them round.
Why does it take so long if there is a leadership challenge? Why does it take so long? What happens?
Why does the contest take so long? Well, there will be 2 hours of voting tonight, and Boris Johnson will know whether he's safe at 8 o'clock. The Conservative Party will have to decide, if he loses, what will be the timetable for a leadership contest. But you'll remember that after David Cameron left, there was Theresa May and Andrea Leadsom. Andrea Leadsom dropped out. It was a coronation and the whole thing was over in a matter of days. But if it goes to plan, then you'll have rounds of voting by MPs, and then you'll have the final two candidates put to the party membership. So this is a process that can take some time. After Theresa May was ousted, we know that there were about at least 10 different candidates who put their hat in the ring, and then it was rounds of voting for the last 5. There was a TV debate, then the final 2, who were Boris Johnson and Jeremy Hunt, were put out to the Tory party membership. So it is a long process, and one of the arguments that Boris Johnson's supporters and that Number 10 are making is that this would be destructive, it would be vicious, it would be a blue on blue, as they put it, civil war, and this is something that they should try to avoid.
Look who's turned up.
Oh yes, he's always here. They come and go, but he's always here.
Yeah, he was here first. I don't know if we can see him. He was here first thing this morning, actually. I'm going to move out the way and then we can see him. When we first arrived, he's seen a few prime ministers in his time now.
Has, yes.
Larry the Cat, of course, is who we're talking about. Yeah. There he is outside Downing Street, just seeing what on earth is going on. When we arrived this morning, there were about half a dozen people here, and now there are, at least a dozen cameras or so from all around the world. That is because of the top story here on Sky News this hour. And that
PR Interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clemens, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world in adjustment. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable and trustworthy.
Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Star Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie, and it's
worldwide, online 24/7.
Everybody's up to something. I may not see it, still I'm trusting. 'Cause God is working. God is working. He never sleep or slumber. My
Okay, massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Monday edition of the morning show. Today is the 6th day of June, the year 2022, and the time now is 10:40 exactly. From now till 1 o'clock, I'm going to be your captain, taking you through all the journey. From archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. I say it all the time, it's making the headlines. Why not? I promise you I'm going to touch on it. But do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. To the team this morning, let me say good morning to Mr. Frank Davids, who is out of the studio. Mr. Olayomi Koiki, HRH Linda Pallien. Massive good morning to you. And a special good morning to all presenters on Starr Radio UK. To my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. Francis, wherever you are, massive good morning to you. And I say once again, welcome to the show. To Mr. Kofi Ali Abdul Yakin, Felix all the way in Scotland. Aberdeen. And to you, wonderful people, Mr. David Kluche, good morning to you. Mr. Malik Dramani Mahama, good morning to you. A special good morning to Dr. Morton. To our listeners in the Americas, those of you in Europe, those of you in Asia, those of you in Australia and on the African continent as well. Amaya Jirgene, good morning to you. Anthony Adedeji, massive good morning to you, sir. Wonderful listeners in Ghana as well, South Africa. You are listening to us this morning. Everyone once again saying welcome to the show. It is always a pleasure coming your way. To HRA Linda Pallien all the way in Cyprus will be joining us at 12:30. I salute you, lady. I hope you had a very good weekend. Okay, so wherever you are, Mr. Dan Tabri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, our money man. Also, good morning to you, Mrs. Evelyn Tabiri. Yeah, I salute you, my lady. I hope you are doing very, very well as well. My lovely wife Lottie, good morning to you. For good work done over the weekend. To all my children, my grandchildren, and my great grandchildren, you know, I've not got a great yet, but we're getting there, you know. But thank God. Even when we cry, we have the chance to also smile. And I believe that God has smiled on you as well today. The 6th day, you being alive. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much for joining us once again. 10:43 the time. Starr Radio UK, the station. If it's your first time of tuning in to listen to us, this is how the program goes on Mondays. This is how the program goes. So I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We'll move on to some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as the Global Trotting. Then after that, at 11 o'clock, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who will be joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. A very worrying story happening in one of the states where more than 50 worshippers have been killed by unknown gunmen abducting the priest there as well. So we're going to be looking into those stories when it comes to Nigeria. Well, election 2023, is it going to happen or not? Well, after that, we'll continue with the conversation. Well, here in the UK, a vote of confidence is going to be taking place today against the Prime Minister. Is he going to survive? Is he going to fall on his sword? What exactly is going to happen? I know his lobbyists have gone around trying to lobby MPs who will be voting Conservative MPs, of course. But what is it? Can he survive? I told you he has more than 9 lives. So maybe this time round, he's still not run out of his luck and will be able to make it. Just keep your fingers and everything crossed there. And then we'll come to some other stories making the rounds on other parts of the world, in Africa as well. In Ghana, interestingly, the head of the Assemblies of God Church in Ghana has come out to say that, well, we should not go into a time of coup d'etat, military rule, those things no more. But what are the push factors? What are the pull factors? Now, why are people coming on to say those things? If everything is working perfectly, will people say anything of the sort? That means that some people can see the telltale signs of what brings about such unrest in African countries and are sighing or ringing the bell or signing the alarm for people to know that, hey, sit up or else. But what do you think? There's a lot more we're going to be looking at today. The lines will be open at 12 o'clock for you to add your voice to the discussions. 12:30 will bring the first part of the program to a close. I will take you to Cyprus where HRH Linda Pallien will be, and we'll have a look at Career 101. Then after that, the curtains are brought down for the end of the program. So in a gist, that's what's going to happen. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me say good morning to Kojo. Kojo D. I hope you are doing very, very well. Let me quite be a massive good morning to you. Once again, welcome to the show. Okay, let's move on straight to the quote of the day. It says, success and failure are by choice, no matter how you see it. Success and failure are by choice, no matter how you see it. Now, on the weather front, well, we had a mixture of weather over the weekend, but it was good, wasn't it? Well, but let me tell you what's happening today. Today, when it comes to the weather front, that this afternoon it will turn largely dry. There will still be plenty of cloud, but some bright spells, and also will start to develop. Tonight is expected to start dry with a mix of clear spells and variable cloud around midnight. Most areas of cloud will tend to dissipate to leave mostly clear skies for the rest of the night. It is Starr Radio UK. Top temperature is going to be 19 degrees, the lowest is going to be 11 degrees. Pollen level is going to be moderate, UV level is going to be low, and pollution low. Sunset 21:13 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 04:46 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast. It is Starr Radio UK. Take a quick break, and once we come back, I'll bring you the travel update. Don't you go away, stay tuned. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check it out.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you navigated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes to every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:47. Now, so on your travel this morning, those of you who are using the underground, now Bakerloo line, I've got special service operating at a normal frequency. Train are 7 Elephant and Castle, Lambeth North, Baker Street, Kilburn Park, and all stations between Queen's Park and Harrow and Waystone. All other stations are closed due to strike action by the RMT. And therefore, this strike action has also impacted the Circle line as well. It has impacted the Circle line is closed completely. The District line, Hammersmith and City, Jubilee, Northern, Piccadilly, and Victoria lines. Okay, Piccadilly are all special service, but Victoria and Waterloo and City lines have all been closed. Then aside, all the others, underground lines are in good service. Metropolitan Elizabeth line are in good service. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you navigated. I promise. Our bond. TFL Rail DL are good service, but London Overground has got a bit of an issue there, and let me bring that your way. So if you are traveling that way, you know exactly what to avoid if necessary. Check it out. So on the London Overground this morning, okay. No service between Hackney Downs, Chestnut, Enfield, and severe delays between Liverpool Street and Chingford due to power supply problems at Stoke Newington. Good service on all other London Overground routes. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I will keep you navigated. Now moving on straight to the major routes in London. A4 and Central London Red routes have got closures there, so avoid them if you can. Now, on the London river bus this morning, now the Woolwich area has got special service. That aside, all the others have got good service. The final segment of the travel update is the National Rail. On the National Rail, First Transparent Express, Gatwick Express, Great Northern, ScotRail, Southern, and Thameslink have all got special service. Southwestern Railway has got minor delays though. That aside, all the others, good service there. So as I would say, or I will do always, I would say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your comments for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medase.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactement TikTok, 8 minutes to the top of the hour. So it's now time for Global Trotting. Now let's move on. Let's see what is happening across the globe. When it comes to Nigeria, some of the stories that we'll be looking at, Buhari agreed to support Tinubu for president. Buba Galadima is saying Osibanjo speaks on stepping down ahead of APC primary. Why is he doing so? Well, APC presidential primary updates are results from Eagle Square, Abuja. We'll be bringing you more on that front. Well, Osibanjo decides to step down. Tinubu is going. Okay. Well, so what is it going to be like? Okay, and then in Nigeria, gunmen kill many church worshippers in Nigeria, Ondo State. More than 50 have been found dead, and apparently there seem to be more people who were dead than as is being reported. So a lot more going to be coming your way from there. Just stay tuned. Don't you go away. Don't you go away. Now, in other stories making the rounds on the African continent, before we come here in the UK, well, the story says you can go to jail for up to 15 years if you demand digging fees from a land developer, a high court has said. Okay, and allocate portions of sanitation levy to hydro authority for effective flood. Those are some of the stories making the rounds on the African continent, especially this time around in Ghana. But I'm going to tell you more and more and more. Let me try to see what I can capture that story for you. A story pertaining to coup d'etats and rumor mongering of coup d'etats that some authorities or clergy have decided to say that, look, guys, if you guys don't look at what happens, the telltale or the push factors, what is making people behave that way, and you allow that to, it's one thing that shouldn't happen at all. He enumerates the number of coup d'etats that have taken place and its impact. Let me put it this way: negative impact to the economy. But this and a lot more we're going to be looking at as we continue with the show. Okay, now let's move on to other parts of the world as well. Here in the UK, now Prime Minister is facing confidence vote today after MPs trigger a ballot. The Conservative Party announces at least 54 MPs have asked for vote. It will be held today at 18 hours British Summer time. As to whether the Prime Minister will survive it or not, as I've said, he is a man more than a cat who has got 9 lives or 7 lives. He's got more than that. I think he's got 11 lives. Well, he survived things in the past, but will he survive? Others are saying that, well, even if he survives, looking at the record or the history of prime ministers who face a vote of confidence, even if they win, it's just a matter of time, and then they decide they are pushed out or they decide to step down. What is it going to be for him? We're going to be looking more into that as the days unfold. UK to send first long-range missiles to Ukraine. A small number of cutting-edge rocket systems will be sent despite a fresh warning from Russia. Well, the UK decided to call it a bluff, whatever Russia seemed to want to do, and so, well, we're going to send it to them, whatever, and in spite of. Now, British geologists jailed in Iraq over artifacts. Now, Jim Fitton, 66, who is charged with artifact smuggling, is sentenced to 15 years. Interesting. How many people do you think we would have jailed back in Africa for them stealing all our stuff? Well, how was the Jubilee celebrations? How did you see the 4-day bank holiday? What did you see? What was your experience? Do you think the monarchy is going to last for a long time? Because you see a number of people in the mall who were at the mall, and then those who, I mean, all the celebrations that took place across the country, the length and breadth of the country, and in the Commonwealth as well. Do you think the monarchy is going to last? Or, as those who are looking at Republican, will now think, well, let's forget about them. Let's now move on. Let's select our own or elect our own leaders, and we think that will pan out for us. Now, what do you think about all that? We're going to be looking more into all those stories as we continue with the show. A man attends police station over Mark Arevi's video. Police confirmed a man was interviewed voluntarily in relation to the social media video. Why was he trolling or what? We'll be looking more into all those stories as we continue with the show. Ukraine city sees hottest fighting of conflict. Russian troops are being repelled in the eastern city of Severodonetsk. Ukraine's military intelligence chief says, well, it's all propaganda war. So one says that, another says something else, and you ask yourself, who is telling the truth? Nobody knows. South Korea and US fire missiles in warning to the north. The joint exercise comes after North Korea fired several ballistic missiles on Sunday. But South Korea and the US have decided, okay, now let us shoot some missiles. Let's also do our own. Well, what do you think? It is Starr Radio UK. Finally, flight ban hits Russia ministers visit to Serbia. So I say, if I were him, I will walk or I will drive down. Well. It is all Starr Radio UK. It is all your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's enjoy this song, and once we come back, we'll be having Miss Olayomi joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria, or the ones that he sent to us. We'll be bringing them to you. Stay tuned. Don't you go away. Denzel Prempe says nothing. Noko.
To explain it, but it is like saying there is nobody, nothing, between nothing and anything between nothing. Yeah. Come on now, guys. Come on. Are you ready? Oh yeah. I want to change it a little bit. All right. I don't know how to, but I know how to roll in the spirit, but not with my legs. All right. Come on. I see you.
Hallelujah.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
Your favorite Afro-Caribbean radio station.
To the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world in adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And it's just gone exactly 8 minutes past the top of the hour. And you know, we have got Mr. Olayomi Koiki who has joined us. We missed you all over the long weekend because celebrating the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. We hope that every one of you did celebrate. But let me say, Yomi, good morning to you.
Well, it is a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from across the globe. We welcome you to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and I hope you had a great weekend, Mr. Archie. It's good to be back with you back again for all our listeners around the globe.
Yes, it was quite a busy one for me, moving here and there with lots of activities, but hey, it was so good. It was so good. How was yours?
Well, it was a packed one, a busy one as usual. Especially when you have the children holiday, that you got to know that there's quite a lot of work that needs to be done. And the most important thing is it was also a time to engage people that you've not spoken to for some time. But up to yesterday, when most of the sad news was coming back from Nigeria, was filtering out, and we're going to be discussing all that. More than over 200 people were killed yesterday by the terrorists, and then we're going to be discussing all that. But apart from that, we had a very great one, and it's good to be back again with the team this morning.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, for you, I am Archie in our South Studios with Yomi there, and it's now time for us to see what is happening. But top on the agenda is this massacre that took place yesterday in Ondo State. Now, for the sake of our listeners who don't know Nigeria very well, the location is Ondo in the north. Which part of the Nigeria is Ondo? Can you give us a bit of a background to it, and then let's listen to you?
Well, Ondo State, for the benefit of those that are not from Nigeria, I'll give a bit of background to it. Ondo State is in the southwest of Nigeria. It was created, just about 2 years before my birthday. It was created actually on the February 3rd, 1976, from the former Western State. Ondo State is also a border to Ekiti State, formerly part of the state. Remember that we went into what we can call the independent with what we know as the Western region until the whole thing started falling apart. And what do I mean by that? We started having, what we can call, the military era that destroyed what was given by the British colonial in 1914, that led to, the 1960 independence. And up to date, everything actually changed. So Ondo State was carved out from Ekiti State, and likewise, Ondo State was created in 1976. It is actually in the southwest of the country, which is about almost, depending on, we can't look at the road network because it's a very bad one. I've been to Ondo State a couple of times, where around 2018, 2017, and again, the state also linked to Kogi State, which we do know have got a lot of ISIS movement, and we're going to be discussing that because ISIS, is something that a lot of us, especially, that have been, talking about the kind of atrocity that ISIS does, and all these is part of what has actually been happening. So again, Ondo State created in 1976, very close to Kogi State, Edo State to the east, Delta State to the southeast, Ogun State to the southwest, and Osun State to the northwest. But again, yesterday, millions of people from around the world went into what we can call a kind of mourning when the news started filtering out. We're going to be discussing that, but I'm going to come back again to you in the studio. We're trying as quickly as possible to get all other platforms ready, but I can assure us that in the next few minutes, all those platforms will be actually ready for everybody to listen because we have a lot of people, especially because they know that I'm going to be coming live on the radio this morning, and they expect a kind of an update, what has been said, what is going on, what is the government saying, what is the state government saying, what is the federal government saying on that. All these issues I will be discussing during the this broadcast. But for those of you that are joining us, please go on Starr Radio UK and make sure you follow us so that you can be able to catch up with me every Monday to Friday at exactly 11 o'clock, where we discuss everything that pertains to Nigeria and also the self-determination and those that still believe in one Nigeria.
Interesting. Listeners, Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios. But now let's go to the detail of that story that we were talking about, the massacre that took place. Now, so it's not a place that is in the north. That's what I wanted us to establish, so that we can say that maybe this time it was the ISIS or ISWAP, whichever they call them, or the insurgents in that particular area. So what has the state government said, and what has the federal government reported about this whole event that took place yesterday?
Well, when the event started, I actually got a message, from the state. Those that were following us, that knows what we do from the media perspective, send us a message. And yes, I didn't want to believe it, but again, when incident like this does happen, it means that especially when it has now generated a lot of conversation on the social media. I'll be telling you a bit of what the government have said, and the response from different parts of the country, and also some of the the presidential contestants have already been spoken. But let's first something that was a bit of confusion is that people were saying that it was a bomb blast. But from what I've been able to look at yesterday, it seems that it was not a bomb blast, or it could be a bomb blast, but also there was a coordination of some kind of heavy machinery that was used. But let's first state what the state government, I'm trying to pick that up, the state government says actually himself, and that would then give us, what we believe has actually happened. It is a terrorist attack. There's no doubt about that. We can no longer say terrorist attack does occur alone in the northeast or the northwest or the north side of the country, but we now also know that there's a heavy terrorist involvement again in the southwest. Let's first go into what the response of the governor. The governor was actually not in the state, but he flew back into the state because he was not too far away. He was only in Abuja. Remember, the APC convention is still lingering, and there's a lot of conversation. We're going to come back on that as well. But this was the response of the governor after he actually returned back. And this is what he said. I just arrived. This is about 18 hours ago. I just arrived into Owo from Abuja following the unfortunate attack on the people worshipping at the St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo. I have received the brief from the head of security agency in the state. The assailant will be hunted down and they will pay for their crimes. We've heard a lot of these. They will pay for their crimes is something that a lot of them have always said continuously, but that's if you know where these individuals are or how you can be able to track them. Remember that up to date, those that were kidnapped from the bomb train attack that was going from Abuja to Kaduna, as we speak right now, they are still in the hands of their captives. So that means that the government have not been able to deal with that. How they're going to be able to deal with these individuals is something that I'm not really sure of. Let's now go and see what the federal government is saying from the perspective of what has actually happened yesterday. Once again, this is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station. President Muhammadu Buhari mourns the dead, condoles with Ondo State government and the people. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the enormous killings of worshippers Sunday at the St. Francis Catholic Church, where the incident occurred. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari says that only friends I believe they want to say friends there because it's spelled FIENDS. From the NIDA region could have conceived and carry out such disaster act. I want you to hold on to that. So what the government from the federal perspective is saying that this is not something that was done by locals. It is done by people from, again, outside Nigeria. And that's also something that we've got to be concerned about. If we have people that are not in Nigeria or they are non-Nigerians and they've already infiltrated every part of Nigeria today, that means we got to be very, very concerned. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari mourns the dead, condoles with the families, the Catholic Church, the government of Ondo State, charging the emergency agency to swing into action and bring the score to the wounded. No matter what, this country shall never give in to evil and wicked people, and darkness will never come to light. But you would expect that whatever engagement that the government should be having might probably be suspended for the total death of over 200 people that were killed, but they went ahead with a dinner yesterday in Abuja. This is Star Radio UK, 18 minutes past the hour, 6 of 6, 2022, dark day, as is now known in Ondo State. I will slightly come back again to you now in the studio.
Well, listeners, updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Very, very sad day yesterday, and with numbers going up as now, we're talking about almost 200 people who have lost their lives. We have more stories that is going to be coming your way, but Olayomi Koiki was trying to give us the statement that the governor of the state, the Ondo State, has made, and what the federal government is also saying. But normally what we hear is when there are attacks of the sort, we have the group that undertook whatever attacks coming out to say that, look, we were the ones responsible for that. Has any group come out to claim responsibility?
Well, after studying the whole attack yesterday, which is again is not new as we've known, I can say that there have not been any of these, either the ISIS. We know ISIS have said they're responsible for at least 2 of the latest attacks, one in Kogi State, one in Bauchi State, and the ones that I've done previously. But again, looking at the headlines and following the situation up to this early hours of this morning, where it's been a very, very long night. Everybody has pinned it as a terrorist attack. There's no doubt about that. But so far, nobody has claimed the responsibility. But we're monitoring that, and then we'll be giving any kind of update on that as quickly as we have it. But for now, it is now known that a terrorist attack took place right inside the southwest of the country. It's not the first time, but again, it's now getting closer. And if you permit, I'm just going to quickly let us listen to what the late Dr. Malafia Obadia says. This particular area that we are talking about is not in a remote area, is not in the forest, is not in the bush, a very, very close into the urban city, which is what the late Dr. Malafia Obadia told us before he was killed some few months back. Let's listen to him.
Because some of us also have our own intelligence networks. Okay. Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. 1 or 2 who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria.
You heard him right there. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria. What has been the the reaction of the international community? I've been monitoring that, especially because a magnitude of this kind of news sometimes do not filter out of the country. But it wasn't so. That shows you the magnitude. The New York Times have spoken. The AFP are picking it up. 13 hours ago, gunmen with explosive, which again was what was confirmed to me when I had a caller that spoke to me right from that very close axis. Says it was an explosive. He did mention that it was during the morning mass. A lot of children, we can't show this graphic image, but I can assure you that there were so many children that were killed with their head blown away. There was also indication that it was a Fulani attack. Gunmen with explosives stormed a Catholic church, opened fire in the southwest Nigeria, killing many worshippers, wounding others, and government and police. This is coming from the AFP. I've also picked it up, according to David Kohler, breaking over as many 100 to 200 churchgoers slaughtered during the morning church service at St. Francis Catholic Church in Ondo State, Nigeria. Expect limited coverage in the Western press. Though the BBC were able to pick that as well, but like I said, the news traveled to almost every part. BBC World News says Nigerian violence, gunmen attack. And also, there's been a response from the British High Commission in Nigeria and the rest of the part of the globe. New York Times, the attack at the St. Francis Catholic Church in Ondo State was the deadliest attack on a church in Nigeria in years and brought the kind of violence usually seen in countries not to a relatively peaceful area of the Africa most populous nation. Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. 24 minutes past, I come back again to you in the studio.
Well, listen, it's quite a very sad development in Nigeria. My question that I've asked myself is Buhari just giving up, just sitting there, is like, well, I'm just at the end of my tenure, so let me just get out of it. The insecurity that is going on, the impunity with which people are carrying out these barbaric acts. Now, what do you think? We want to have your take on that. You can post your comments on our Facebook page, and I promise you we're going to read that. But one question that keeps on bothering me: to what length, how much more can Nigerians take when it comes to this? Well, when this was happening and everything had happened, well, some people had to still go on with their party that took place in the state capital, the federal capital. And you ask yourself the question, do our politicians actually think about us, the citizens? Well, let me hear from you. It is Star Radio UK. Let's go to Olayomi for some of the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Thank you so much, Mr. Archie. It seems it's going to be the show of the showest in the next maybe 48 hours or so, when the northern governors are now saying that they must now maybe allow the South to decide, they are from their own angle, who becomes the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. APC primary, Buhari met governors and also party chairman and stakeholders. This is coming from the headline. Let's talk about that, because we do know that the PDP have actually shifted theirs to the north by having Atiku. Does it mean that this APC will be bringing there to the southwest or the southeast? Or we will have to wait and see who is going to clinch that ticket. The president, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired on Sunday, met with some of the selected stakeholders in the All Progressive Congress, including the former chairman, the current national chairman, Abdullahi Adamu, the national secretary chairman, Iyola Omishori, and some other governors elected on the platform of the party. The meeting came an inability of the governors to produce a consensus candidate barely 24 hours to the party convention. A second meeting is expected to hold between all the 22 governors of the APC and the president today, Monday. While the convention is expected to begin today, the primary itself will not take place until Tuesday. So we're going to have to wait and see whether there will be what we can call a kind of consensus, from the APC regarding that. Let me go straight back into what more other stories are coming. There is a response as well from the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination, Professor Banji Akintoye, regarding what took place yesterday in Ondo State. And this is their own statement and actually came out as well yesterday. There's a lot of response. There's still a lot of reaction, especially the Yorubas that are now bitterly asking the question, do we still want to be part of Nigeria? And should we want to be part of Nigeria, on what basis are we going to be part of a country that cannot protect and also give the security details to support almost every part of the country? So this is the response, from the Ilana Omo Odua and the leader himself, Alano, Professor Banji Akintoye. This is what he had to say. Just bear with me. I'm going to bring that up in just about few minutes. His response: Ondo Catholic attack is a declaration of war on the Yoruba people. Odua Nation, leader Professor Banji Akintoye. The group said the attack is a declaration of war on the Yoruba people, adding that it is time to gain independence from Nigeria. Professor Banji Akintoye, the leader of the apex body of the Yoruba self-determination and the self-preservation movement, Ilana Omo Odua worldwide, has also responded to what happened at Owo in Ondo State yesterday, condemned the Sunday attack on St. Francis Catholic Church. Akintoye, in a statement issued by Maxwell Adeleye, the secretary to the group, said the attack is a declaration of war on Yoruba people, adding that it is time to gain independence from Nigeria. And what does that mean? That that you remember that there's still everything that needs to be done according to the movement to leave Nigeria and then have our own self-independent country. The historian called on the state governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu and other governors in the southwest region to declare an emergency against the activities of the Fulani herdsmen in the state. The statement read, "We have stated it very expressly that the Yoruba people need to negotiate their exit from Nigeria as a matter of urgency, but our partisan political actors in Yoruba land never took us seriously. We warned them that there was fire on the mountain. We were mocked because of their personal aggrandizement. Today, we have been enriched and cycled, most especially in Lagos, for the herdsmen."
Listeners, just bear with us. We have because we do the broadcast from home, so we have our little ones who are from time to time intro. So don't worry about.
Most especially in Lagos, for the herdsmen to have from trend of bombardment a church in Yoruba land to kill over 200 people shows that we are now in a realistic danger. My urgent advice to Governor Akeredolu is to pick up the gauntlet, declare emergency against the activities of all the Fulani herdsmen in the state with immediate effect. We now have been taken for granted. We need not pretend anymore. We must demand enormous an exit from Nigeria. We, the Yoruba people, cannot live in the same country with characters whose idea of common citizenship in Nigeria is to brutalize, subjugate, and even exterminate us. It is time to leave these characters now. All stakeholders, the elite, the traditional rulers, our women should act now. All Southwest, including Yoruba leaders in Kogi and Kwara State, should equally declare an emergency against the activities of the Fulani herdsmen. We must now take our destiny in our hand. That is the statement, and as you can see, a very, very powerful statement from the leader as well. I'm going to give 2 or 3 more headlines. Come back again to you in the studio if you've just joined us. This is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, Monday to Friday, where we give you all the headlines as well. Buhari agreed to support Tinubu for president. Buba Galadima. Remember, we spoke with him, I believe, a year ago, probably not a year last year, but a year ago, while he was in London for some event. A very, very, somebody that also against the government. But it seems that Buhari will be supporting Tinubu. We will know within the next 24 hours. 3 people have died as Lagos Ministry police hoodlums demolished 200 buildings. And likewise, the national carrier get license today. Local airline fault process. 20 power plants suffer major problems blackout to worsen. Remember that without the power that Nigeria has been in the last 60 years of darkness, that means that nothing can work and nothing can function. A lot of people have asked the question, should a CCTV not have been installed in those premises? And maybe, just maybe, somebody would have been picked. Following the perennial power outage currently being experienced across the countries, findings have shown that 20 gas power plants are currently underperforming, leading to power generation dropping below 2,000 megawatt. Nigeria has 23 power generating plants with 11,165 megawatt capacity connected to the national grid. These plants are managed by generation companies Gencos, independent power providers, Niger Delta Holding Company. Out of the 23, 2 hydro plants, according to independent investigation, that the gas plants are currently either generating below expectation, shut down due to lack of gas, or undergoing maintenance. You can imagine the little that we have, nothing seems to be going into it, and that makes it more that Nigerians will continue to suffer in darkness for a very long time. Star Radio UK, I'm slightly going to come back now to you in the studio so that we can look at some of those headlines, and we still have a bit of ample of time. As you know, the children are still on holiday, and like I said, bear with us, those of you that are listening to us. Should there be some kind of filter of news or other news below what we are saying here, it is just a little one that's at the background. I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, interesting stories and developments from Nigeria. Now let's come to Professor Akintoye's statement that he made. Now, did he address it to the federal government? Because this is a situation where people are agitating, saying that we think we are being marginalized. We think that like what is happening in the East as well. So looking at all that and this attack that has taken place out, he is calling an attack on the Yorubas. So they think that now it's about time for us to maybe move on or just break away from there. Now, has he addressed that particular statement to the federal government, or he's made a general statement and he's expecting them to react to that?
Well, we do know that the movement itself has always tell the federal government that the Yoruba people do not want to have anything to do with Nigeria as it is, not for any reason, but for some of what has even occurred, as well. Remember that, a country that has marginalized the indigenous people, we were firstly put together, which we must continue to say, by the British government in 1914. The 1999 constitution is a fake constitution that was put together, as a military decree by those that just wanted to use that to their own advantage, and that has been used for a very long time since we went back into democracy in 1999. It was not just addressing the governors that are meant to take their responsibility on those within the Yoruba land. The message also was...
Okay, listeners, just bear with us. I think Mr. Olayomi Koiki is getting connectivity issue there. There's a bit of a connectivity issue there, but just bear with us. What is your take on that? What do you think is happening exactly in Nigeria? Do you think Professor Akintoye is right in claiming that, well, what has happened is all because of these Fulani herdsmen who are attacking the communities? One of the audios that he did play earlier on pertaining to one of the speakers or the outstanding members of society who spoke sometime last year before he died, talking about Boko Haram, who during the lockdown were flying around the country moving arms from one point to the other, where he claims that, look, all the intention of this particular group is just to make sure that they have or whatever bring about a civil war in Nigeria. But what do you think about all that? It is Star Radio UK. Like I said earlier on, we apologize for that breaking Olayomi's transmission, but he is back on now. Okay, so let's move on now to the APC primaries. That is taking place, and the fact that Tinubu seems to be the favorite at the moment. I've seen few stories that is talking about the president meeting other candidates, telling some people to step down and stuff like that. So the other time, I think I did ask that question: where does Tinubu hail from? Does he hail from the north as well? And if he hails from the north, that particular stands by some of the northern governors who are saying that the presidency should be ceded to the south. What is going to happen to that, Yomi?
Well, Tinubu is from the southwest. He was a one-time governor, in Lagos State for 8 years. Quite a lot of followers. But the question that's being asked is he capable, to take the mantle as against those that would prefer, the vice president against him? If the vice president team and those that will probably want to support the vice president do not agree with this consensus, maybe to allow Tinubu, then that means they will all have to go into that, primaries convention and then the delegate will decide. And that could be very tricky. That means that, whoever comes out then will end up being, the favorite out of them. We just not have just that alone. Remember that we still have, 2 or 3 people from the southeast. After they've screened out of the 23, I think only 10 were able to, to survive it, and the rest have been, taken off from that, party presentation to the, to the delegate. Yes, Tinubu has been very bitter. I've listened to some of his comments in the last couple of days, especially, his utterance in Ogun State, and he kept saying that, it's my turn. I have made you, I've made you, and you have all deserted me, apart from the governor of Lagos State that is following him, according to him, like a puppet. And that means that, he believed that the power needs to be given to this Yoruba people. He said Yoruba turn is what means that, Yoruba no con is actually the turn of the Yoruba people to take the power. Yes, we can see that there's a pressure in the country, and the North can literally feel that. But let us remember that the North knows the game very well. And what is the game? Let's now allow the Southwest or the Southeast to decide, from their end, and maybe behind the scene, they might end up supporting Atiku that is from the North as against their real party candidate. All this is still something that a lot of analysts are looking at. But the question is, who is going to emerge as the candidate of the APC? And that's something that everybody will know very, very soon.
Interesting. Because earlier on, I saw a story, or I chanced on a story that was talking about the Vice President Osibanjo stepping down for Tinubu. So I was of the view that maybe there had been an agreement in the camp of Osibanjo. But it seems that that's not what you are saying.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I was saying that earlier on, I chanced on a story talking about Osibanjo stepping down for Tinubu to run.
Well, yes, I mean, there's a lot of pressure from, like I said, from, even the traditional rulers that are backing them as well. And likewise, remember Tinubu, not all the governors, somebody like Amosun would not want to let go. Amosun is currently on the race. And I don't remember during the governorship election that took place, last election, Starr Radio was there, and we were at Ogun State. And I saw all the drama where Amosun wanted somebody else. Akinri Ade, he wanted, Tinubu wanted Dapo Abiodun, that is current governor. And he did mention that, this one, I put him there, and, that has become a cartoon and a lot of talk show with a lot of people. So if Amosun, as an example, is not going to back down, Amosun would probably prefer Osibanjo as against Tinubu, and there's still going to be this loghead, and that's why they cannot agree to a consensus of who is actually going to lead, or who are they all going to step down to, rather than going into the primaries. What Buhari is trying to do is to make sure that they can have an agreement rather than going for the primaries, and then everybody can agree. But like I said, I'm not sure whether those from the southeast that have not had that opportunity we want to step down for the Southwest as well. So the game continue, and they say, whatever it is, one person must come out. But the question is, will there be election in 2023 with everything that is still on the table? The self-determination, the Biafra are also saying that there will not be an election, even though the PDP have indicated that they will not give the party ticket to those in the Southeast. Is APC going to maybe, just maybe, allow the party ticket to go to the Southeast, and those of the tension of the Biafrans that also want out of Nigeria? All these we will see within the next couple of days.
Well, listen, at Starr Radio UK, we're still having a chat on this presidential candidates that's been nominated from, or the primaries that's taking place in the APC at the moment. We know that the PDP have selected Atiku Abubakar to be the presidential candidate. Now, as whether the APC are going to accept their nomination or approve that of Tinubu is another question. But some other stories coming through is talking about the Yoruba Muslim scholars in Nigeria has commended the resolution of all Progressive Congress northern governors to support zoning the president to the south, demanding that a Muslim candidate should emerge from the party's primary. Now, other religions or religious sects will be thinking that, what is the plan there? Yomi.
Well, you're quite right. Tinubu, if you remember, is a Muslim. Atiku is a Muslim. Should Tinubu get the ticket, that means we're going to be having, two, president candidates that are Muslim ticket. And a lot of times they've tried to avoid these. Osibajo is a Christian. Could that favor him as against a Muslim ticket where the APC will have a Christian? Some of the Southeast candidates are also Christians, and the question is, yes, the Northerners have said we will allow the ticket to go to the South. That means both the Southeast or the Southwest. But who actually grabs the ticket is the big question. Yes, some Muslims might be in favor of having Tinubu as not looking at the consequence of whether the two-party ticket will be from a Muslim ticket both sides. But the question is again whether there will be such that would occur. All these will become more clear within the next 48 hours.
You know why I did ask that question is because are they scared that if the South, if they have a presidential candidate, let's say the APC appoints somebody who is not a Muslim, but from the South, then he is going to get the South to attack what is going on in the North, because it looks like that seems to be what they think, that the Fulani headsmen and blah 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 who are associated with the Islam are the ones doing the attacks. So maybe if we don't get somebody who is of that same faith, then there's a tendency that anyone who comes in there can, because of his support from the South, can attack them. Is that why they are doing that?
Well, not literally that. It's just that the way the politics in Nigeria has been played for a very long time. Lives of millions of people have been played like a playing card, and that means you can't trust these politicians. If they're meant to be a due diligence in the first place, the ticket should be going to the Southeast, and there shouldn't be any reason for a debate of such. But you can tell that the PDP are not interested in that. Atiku has been contesting, as far back as during the late Chief MK Abiola, and he has never given up. And the question a lot of people have asked is, whether he's even capable himself, looking at some of his record during the Obasanjo, as a vice president as well. Again, looking at the record of the candidate that we have under the APC as well, will they be able to unite Nigeria at this stage is a question. I think again I go back again. The Northerners are trying to calm the situation. They know that the Yorubas are no longer joking, and they're about to exit out of Nigeria, whatever the situation is, and they can feel it. So they are now looking at, should we just give the pressure to reduce a little bit and allow somebody from the Yoruba side to do it as against those in the Southeast. They know that the Yorubas holding things together does not mean that those from the Biafrans that also wants to go are not as heavy as it is. But from the perspective of looking at the whole scenario, who is going to be the consensus candidate? They have to be careful, because that also could be maybe the end of the party should they bring the wrong person out.
Okay. Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, 11:46 from the hearts of London, and it is the Monday edition of the morning show. Updates from Nigeria. Now you go back to Yomi for some of the other stories going on in Nigeria. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, we're just gonna go straight to the social media that has been fill up with two names. Two trending. We've seen the Ondo State was trending up to yesterday. It has literally dropped down, but Nigeria is trending, and you could tell the reason why Nigeria is trending is already trending across the globe with all the atrocity that has occurred in Nigeria, but most especially the one at Owo, where terrorists attacked by the Fulani invaded a church, bomb explosion, a lot of AK-47, and a lot of people have died, to the almost 200 people. Fulani is trending at number 2. So let's look at why Fulani is trending, because in the last couple of days we had 16 countries that 16 groups of people that arrived in Abuja from the Fulani angle to come and have a kind of what we can call a meeting. But let's look at what David Odoye have said. For those who still fundamentally misunderstand the current event, it is not as simple as Fulani expansionists expanding. No, these are actual terror attacks by groups linked to ISIS, Ansaru, Boko Haram. The individuals may not be Fulani, but that is beside the point. We do know that these are very, young Nigerian, and investigative journalists as well. They are full-fledged terror cells embedded across the southern Nigeria, awaiting activation. And it's quite right, because when I listen to, the father that was released recently as well, he said that they are waiting for signal. What sort of signal are they waiting for? We do not know. And he says, I am not spreading fear. I am stating what anyone close to any half-decent state or commercial intelligence analyst already knows. The terrorists are here. It is no longer in Sambisa Forest anymore. They are now among us, and they are waiting for activation. What kind of activation? We would all have to wait and see. So let's go back to see some of the other trending story. Nigeria is at number 1 this morning with almost huge amount of tweets on Nigeria that is currently trending on the Twitter this morning. Again, we've talked about the reaction from the international media. Let's look at what Ifa Funshaw at Funshaw Graphics have to say. The same people who insulted Chief Sunday Igboho and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, despite their struggle on Yoruba Nation and Biafra Nation, are now regretting. I don't know why our people will see reality and still follow illusion. Getting your PVC will not solve anything. Ending Nigeria is the only solution. Even those that have disagreed with the Yoruba out of Nigeria are probably now also reviewing whether they want to be part of Nigeria. Also, let me look at what Neferati says. Emefiele quickly ban crypto and block bank account of #EndSARS protesters. Lai Mohammed promised to publish the names of the terror financiers since 1970. Federal government quickly arrest Nnamdi Kanu and Chief Sunday Igboho outside Nigeria, but they cannot arrest the bloody terrorists they colluded. Again, I'm going to take 1 or 2 more, then come back again to you in the studio. Once again, it is Starr Radio UK. Again, let's take a look at what Ifa Funshaw at Funshaw Graphics have to say 1 hour ago. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in prison with no tangible charges against him. Chief Sunday Igboho was arrested with no tangible charges against him, but terrorists are operating freely in every part of Nigeria. I hope it won't get to your own family before you start using your brain. Also, Chlorophene #EndSARS at Victoria Israel says that Ondo killing is painful to watch. You go to school, ASU is on strike. You go to farm, the herdsman is there. You go to church, the gunman is there. You travel by road, the kidnappers. And just by that, yesterday as well, there were also numbers of people that were kidnapped from axis of Ilorin, which is again southwest of Nigeria, where we do not know where they are at the moment. Prior to that, there was about 8 buses that were also burnt to death on Kaduna Abuja highway, and multiple people have been moved to the forest, and negotiation continue. You travel by train, there is terrorist attack. You look for job, there is no job. You are hungry, food is expensive. Nigeria has enough supply of evil, and that's where I'm going to end the social media this morning and come back now to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, very, if I don't say I am worried, the last statement that somebody put across, I mean, that means there is no security anywhere, and you turn left, you turn right, there is no hope. But do you think Nigeria should survive? Do you think Nigeria should just be together as it is when the leadership are not sitting to address the issues that are going on? Well, you want to know more about whatever is going on, then you have to make sure that every weekday from 11 o'clock, Mr. Olayomi will be joining in to bring you all those updates from Nigeria. But let me come back to Yomi before we go. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, don't touch the dial. Make sure you stay tuned, with Starr Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and this is the only platform where you can follow all the latest news without being diluted, and we continue to pray for all those that are currently going through the situation that occurred in Nigeria yesterday, We pray for the family of those that have been killed, and we continue to say to those at home, make sure that you remain very vigilant, because we don't know, from information still getting to us as at this morning, that they will be moving to Akure, another part of Ondo State, and they might be coming down to other states as well. Let us all remain very, very vigilant at this particular junction. And that is where I'm going to leave it this morning. And I'll be back again same time tomorrow at exactly 11 o'clock. But for now, make sure you continue listening to Star Radio UK. Have a very good morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. You have a very good morning as well. We'll catch up later. Listeners, that was Yomi in our North London studios, bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Star Radio UK, 7 minutes to the top of the hour. That's 7 minutes to 12 the time. And it is time for us to take a quick break, and I'll bring you some lovely tune from Nigeria, Song for Peace in Nigeria. I was looking for a song, a suitable song to play this morning, and I think that's the one I came by. I've not sampled it though, but I hope that will give you a bit of hope there. All right then. So on that note, thank you very much. Hold on, don't you go anywhere. Let's enjoy this tune.
Up to an eerie morning, no children playing, no sounds of greetings, one neighbor to another. Oh, it's quiet and gloomy. Peace don't live here no more. No more.
Can't believe how much we've hurt each other. Can't believe the damage we've done.
Brothers hurting brothers, neighbor harming neighbor.
Children grieving for their parents, hacked down before their time.
I can't go out, I don't know who to trust. Fever's just the other of the day.
Is this the way we want to live?
With peace we don't have to grieve. When peace reigns, fear goes out the door. With peace we can work out our differences, put an end to all the hate. With peace we don't have to grieve. When peace reigns, fear goes out the door. With peace we can work out our differences, put an end to all the hate.
Oh, I know you were hurt, the blow you've been down, so yeah.
It's deep like a knife, but we mustn't play it like a kite.
There's no room in your heart for vengeance and hatred, no, no.
An eye for an eye, so leaves everyone blind.
Hey, we have our differences, we cannot change things making war.
Without peace, all brings out hope.
Without peace, there's no room to build. So much
Star Radio, radio for the people, by
the country of our dreams.
enlighten your day with Star Radio.
This is Star Radio. This is Star Radio. This is Star Radio.
fear goes out the door. With peace we can work out our differences.
prevail in Nigeria? That's a question that most people are asking this morning with all these atrocities taking place in that part of the world. What do you think is going to happen next? What do you think is going to happen next? Should that election even continue to take place, or should government sit and address all this insecurity issue that is going on in that part of the world? What do you think? I want to have your take on it. The lines will be opened. Okay, let me announce the lines open now. 2 minutes to the top of the hour. If you want to call in or you want to put your comment for me to read it, whatever you want to do, it is 0208-133-2257 or 580208-133-2257 or 58 US or Canada 001-718-303-2737 001-718-303-2737. You can also text or WhatsApp at 075-3966-1744 075-3966-1744. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK and email address is info@starradiouk.com. All right then, continue to share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages and stay with us. Don't you think of going away at all. Let's take a quick break, commercial break, and I bring you the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. Remember, every Tuesday at 1:30 exactly, we have BB Clement who comes your way with BB Means Business, a program that is tailor-made to help you, those of you who are venturing into their own personal businesses, being self-employed, and what to do, preparations that you have to make or put in place before you embark on that journey. And those of you who are in there struggling, what next to do and what next to do and what next to do, that is a program that comes your way every weekday, every Tuesday at 1:30. BB Clement with BB Means Business. And this afternoon exactly at 12:30, so in the next 29 minutes we'll be crossing over to Cyprus, where we have HRH Linda Pallien, who's going to be bringing you Career 101. When it comes to your career, what do you do? What preparation do you have to make? Do you think that you've got to a point where you I don't want to use the word blockheaded, but you got to a point where you think that nothing can go in there, you cannot change how you think or you perceive things or how you do things, and therefore you think that you come to the end of the road when it comes to your career? No, you have to listen to that program with HRH Linda Pallien every Monday at 12:30 when she comes your way, and it will enlighten you, give you a bit of hope for the next stage in your career life. Okay, it is Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to exactly 2 minutes past 12. 2 minutes past 12. Now let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds. Okay. Now, in Ghana, information coming through seems to, okay, let me bring you that. Baumia is our incoming leader. Hawa Kumsin, the Japan Mesa declares. There are some of the story making the rounds there. And Ghanaians lack understanding of Akufo-Addo's governance. Now, you know, when our politicians try to come and paint some pictures to us that, look, all this thing that I've done is going to give you this or is giving you this, but whatever you are going through there is not the actual picture of what you are going through. Now, we're talking about reality here, man, where people are feeling the pinch in their pockets. But the other time was sometime last week when I was looking at some of the stories making the rounds in Ghana, where they were talking about the fact that, well, when it comes to the presidency, they had an increment of more than 400% per the budget that goes to them to pay for remuneration. Now, my question here then is, if you are trying to live your life comfortably that way, then what about the poor guys by the roadside selling dog chains and running after vehicles to actually make ends meet, the kaya ye, who are carrying heavy loads just to make 10 pence? Do you think you are doing anything to improve their lives? Well, we'll be looking into that. I want to know what you think about that. But the head of the Assemblies of God Church in Ghana has come out to make a statement, a profound statement, where that is the coup d'etat statement, where he's saying that, well, we have to make sure that coup d'etats don't ever happen in our part of the world. But I've not seen a country where they are prospering. Everything seems to be going up very well, and then people will have the appetite for that. In that case, that's where I call it, where people are being influenced to do that. But this is a case where people are suffering. You know, back in the day when the UK was in some serious financial crisis, and when we had David Cameron there, he talked about that we all have to tighten our belts. It was like across board. They were trying to say that. Now, even that people were criticizing them for some of the excesses that they were doing, trying to push everything. I mean, tighten every belt to make sure our economy, blah blah blah. But it's a case where back in Ghana we have those in the political class, let me call them, living their lives, doing everything that they are doing, and the poor, the majority, suffering. And they tell you that, you know what, just stay there, don't you worry at all, don't do anything, okay? Just wait for the next 4 years. If we think that we are not performing, get us out of the way, bring another person who you know that they will also not perform, and then we see what to do. But if you really want to address that issue, then what has to be done is that what is good for the goose is good for the ganders. So why don't you make people live a bit? Why can't we do that? And yet call on them, don't do anything. Interesting. I'll try to get that story and bring your way, but let me bring you this story quickly, because we have one important news that is going on in the UK where we have to touch on it before I will bring the first part of the program to a close in the next 24 minutes. Now, new elected Upper East Regional Youth Organizer of the governing New Patriotic Party, Salahuddin Musa, has suggested that the majority of Ghanaians are ignorant about the successes of achievement of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in a build-up to election 2024, which has triggered discussions over the possibility of the ruling party to break the eight by winning the next election amidst raging harsh economic conditions. The former Deputy National TESCON coordinator and now Upper East Regional Youth Organizer of the MPP, Mr. Musa, organizer of the MPP, believes that one factor that is threatening the victory of the party is a lack of understanding of the success stories of the administration. So what are the success stories there? When people are suffering, you say, no, we are successful. We did something. What did you actually do? In a Ghanaian parlance, there's something that they say in the tree that I mean, you don't need anybody to speak for you, but your the results that you are showing to people, or that is evidence, that is what is based upon that. That's what people will either be for you or be against you, or work for you or work against you. But what do we see here? Interesting. Maybe I'm wearing or Ghanaians, majority of Ghanaians are wearing wood glasses, okay, spectacles, or see-through, so it's all opaque and they can't see anything. But what do you think? It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, interestingly, we have, during these harsh times, the president also going on the path of a promise that he made to God, that if God happens to help him to win his elections, that he's going to build a place of worship for him. It's not like Ghana has not got various places of worship. I mean, every church have got their own auditorium. I know churches that I belong to back in the day there, who have got big, massive conference centers and stuff like that. Some were even used during the COVID, while the restrictions were, where people could go vaccinate people and all that stuff. People have done that. Churches have done that. But then the president comes in, say that this is a promise I made to God, try to get the cleric to rally behind him, and whilst people are suffering, I mean, cannot make ends meet for themselves, he says it's going on the path. And then actually what is happening, it's a private, I mean, it's your own promise that you made to God. This is what I want to do for God. So you're not going to tell me that I should give you my money for you to use it to do for whatever you want to do for God, right? Okay, but it doesn't seem to be the story here. Now they are rather asking or calling for the president to just what? The president is rather trying to use some of the state's funds to do that, the taxpayers' money to do that. Now I'm a Christian, okay, but I wouldn't say that forcefully go take somebody who is an atheist, who doesn't believe in God's money, to say that let us use it to build something. Now if the person is giving, the person from his own heart decides, okay, I want to contribute to something, that a good venture, within that something that will be good, it will help us, though I don't believe in whatever, and then donate or contribute something to it, that will be good. But it looks like while the people are crying, the leadership think that the achievement, one of the achievements will be to build that cathedral. The member of parliament for North Tongo says countries with economies better than that of Ghana did not rush to construct cathedrals. Samuel Okujato Ablakwa said this was done to ensure equitable distribution of limited resources. For this reason, the NDC lawmaker does not understand why the government wants to construct the country's national cathedral in 4 years. As a result, the former deputy education minister sarcastically described Ghana as a super rich country. Much wealthier economies took a longer period to construct their flagship cathedral, so other critical sectors do not suffer unduly, he said in a social media post. Now, Mr. Ablakwa had earlier alleged that the government released an amount of 32 million Ghana cedis to Sir David Ajayi and Associates Limited in 2021. He insisted that the amount was for consultancy services that Sir David Ajayi and his company offered in relation to the construction of the National Cathedral. He said this was authorized by President Akufo-Addo. Now, documents from the Office of the President confirmed that in 2021 alone, President Akufo-Addo authorized an astonishing 32 million Ghana cedis of taxpayers' funds to be paid to Sir David Ajayi and Associates for consultancy on his National Cathedral project. Now, 57 million Ghana cedis so far, more to come, Mr. Blakwa said in an earlier tweet. The project over the last few days has been a subject of controversy following the release of 25 million to the National Cathedral Secretariat as additional seed money for the project from the government. The release had led to disagreements between the minority caucus in Parliament and the government. Now, whereas minority maintains that the release is not budgeted for, the government says otherwise. The minority said it is not even aware of the procurement processes that were followed in the release of the funds. So is it that Ghanaians need a new place of worship built, and that will actually help them be successful, our economy blossom and stuff like that? Jesus says something, okay, in the New Testament. He said when he met the woman, the Galilean woman at the well, he said, the time is coming and the time is now that we don't need to go to Jerusalem, because that's what they believed in. They believed that they had to go to Jerusalem. That is where their main is it their cathedral, right? Or tabernacle, or what do they call it? House of God was to go and worship. That wherever anybody is and they decide to worship, so far as you are worshiping Him, God in spirit and in truth, you've passed it. So what is all this notion? Well, what do you think about all that? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 14 minutes past the top of the hour. We'll be bringing the first part of the program to a close in the next 16 minutes. What do you think? What do you want to say? Feel free and share your take with me. I was trying to see whether I can get one other story before we leave there. Okay. Let's hop on straight to other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world on the African continent. Well, South African outrage over Ryanair language tests. South African flying on Ryanair must take a test in the Afrikaans language to prove their nationality. Why? Let me bring that your way. South Africans have condemned Irish airline Ryanair for making them take a test in Afrikaans language on UK flights, calling it discriminatory. The country has 11 official languages, and many say they cannot understand Afrikaans, a language which was imposed during white minority rule. The quiz contains questions on South African general knowledge. Now, Ryanair defended the test, saying it weeds out those traveling on fraudulent South African passport. How possible is that? Now, due to the high prevalence of fraudulent South African passport, we require passengers traveling to the UK to fill out a simple questionnaire issued in Afrikaans, it said in a statement. So do you mean that the Afrikaans, they have the right? So they are the only ones who have the right passports, and others who don't speak Afrikaans because it was a slavery or apartheid language that was used on them at the time, don't qualify. You see racism? My goodness. Well, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, when it comes to Kenya, well, it's all happening live. It's all happening live. While Raila Odinga comes from a famous family in Kenya, the political crown has eluded him throughout his decades-long career, just as it eluded his father, who served as vice president after independence from the UK. Now, age 77, Mr. Odinga will make his fifth attempt at the presidency in the 9th of August election, having come closer to power in 2008 when he was appointed prime minister. Mr. Odinga has a passionate following, and his adoring fans have nicknamed him Baba Agwambo, that is father, act of God, and Tinga, a tractor drawn from his party symbol in 1997 election. His signature slow motion dance to reggae songs during his rallies has been dubbed the Raila dance. A supporter of England Arsenal Football Club, Mr. Odinga forms a new political outfit in every election. He is contesting this election under the banner of Azimio la Umoja Swahili for Pledge of Unity, as he tries to win over supporters of outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta. But we know one of the vices of the Vice President of Uhuru Kenyatta is also vying for the position to be president. Now, what do you think is going to happen there? Well, there's a lot more I'm going to be looking at. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One other story, and then we leave there. Well, Ramaphosa says, I have never stolen money from anywhere. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has made a robust defense of his integrity after he was accused of being involved in kidnapping and bribery. Oh my goodness. If the president can do something, then that's what he has to do. Now, last week, former spy chief Arthur Fraser said the case related to the alleged attempted theft of $4 million in 2020 at one of the president's properties and the alleged effort to conceal what happened. The president then confirmed that there was a robbery at his farm in the Limpopo in which proceeds from the sale of game were stolen. But then questions were raised as to why he had the sum in cash. Now, talking to supporters at the weekend, Mr. Ramaphosa explained that as a farmer, he frequently bought and sold cattle and people often paid in cash. In addition, he denied that the amount stolen was anywhere near 4 million. All this was money from proceeds from selling animals. I have never stolen money from anywhere and will never do so. Well, you know, when it comes to political leaders in that part of the world, a little bit and they will get a point and they say accused of stealing or involved in stealing and stuff like that. But what do you think is going to happen there is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, moving on to other parts of the world as well. A quick one in other parts of the world. Russian general killed in Donbass fighting. A report is saying Russian state media said Major General Roman Kutuzov was the latest commander killed in fighting. So what is going to happen? Well, now that the UK is also saying that we're going to send them long-range missiles. Now, South Korea and the US have launched 8 missiles on Monday in response to a volley of ballistic missiles fired by the North Korea the previous day. It comes as Pyongyang continues to escalate its missile test. Now, South Korea's President Yoon Suk Yeol said his government will respond sternly to any provocation from its northern neighbors. Now, we will make sure there isn't a single crack in protecting the lives and property of our people, he said. Now, speaking at a war memorial event in Seoul, he added that North Korea's nuclear and missile programs are reaching the level of threatening not only the peace on the North Korean peninsula, my apologies, but also in the Northeast Asia and the world, according to Yonhap. The US and South Korea regularly hold joint military exercises which often anger North Korea. Now, early on Monday, hours after North Korea had fired several missiles off its test course, the two allies launched the 8 surface-to-surface army tactical missile system, the ATACMS, 1 from the US and 7 from South Korea. Analysts say the moves are South Korea showing off its muscle with the aid of US weaponry. Now, it is the second retaliatory display from the US and South Korea in as many as weeks, with a similar move made last week after Pyongyang fired a series of missiles in the immediate aftermath of the US President Joe Biden's visit to the region. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 21 minutes after 12. Now, coming to the UK ASAP. Now, breaking news this morning that came through was the, Boris Johnson, as to whether he's going to survive this vote of confidence today at 18 hours BST. Now, Conservative MPs will decide whether or not to remove Boris Johnson from office later amid a backlash to the Partygate scandal. The second ballot has been triggered by scores of Tory MPs writing to party bosses calling on the Prime Minister to quit. Anger among backbenchers has been rising since Sue Gray published her official report into lockdown parties in number 10 last month. The cabinet minister have been rallying around Mr. Johnson ahead. We're rallying around Mr. Johnson ahead of the vote. Now, if most Tory MPs vote to express no confidence in him, he will be ousted from office and a contest will be held to replace him, a story says. Okay, all right, we'll come back to that. Okay, now, assuming every Conservative MP casts a vote and nobody obtains or abstains, my apologies, it means 180 of them will have to vote against Mr. Johnson to topple him. The vote will take place in Parliament between 18 to 20 hours BST, with a result announced shortly after. Now, Mr. Johnson will attempt to drum up support before the ballot during a private address to his backbenchers this afternoon. Now, confirmation of a non-confidence vote comes after more than a week of speculation over the Prime Minister's future after Ms. Gray's report was published. An interim version of the report, published in January, prompted a trickle of Tory MPs to urge Mr. Johnson to stand down. But the full version, which laid bare the scale of COVID rule breaking in number 10, has led to renewed calls within the party for him to resign. There has also been unhappiness within the party over tax rises and the government response to rising living costs. Now, if Mr. Johnson wins the vote under current Tory party rules, he will be saved from a bench challenge for a year. The stipulation had prompted speculation that those aiming to replace the Prime Minister would have preferred a vote to take place later this month, after two tricky by-elections for the Tories in Tiverton and Huntington and Wakefield. Now, even if he wins this evening's vote, a large number of backbenchers voting against Mr. Johnson could deliver a serious blow to his authority that spells the eventual end of his premiership. His predecessor in number 10, Theresa May, survived the confidence vote in her leadership in late 2018, but resigned 6 months later after failing to get her Brexit deal passed in Parliament. Plenty of Tory MPs, including the rebels, expect Boris Johnson to win tonight. But an arithmetical win is not the same as a political one. Theresa May won a confidence vote easily, but was gone within 6 months. What we will get tonight is an indisputable number, the number of Tory MPs who want the Prime Minister out. It's a number that will hang around Boris Johnson's neck for the rest of his time in office. He will argue other numbers matter far more. The nearly 40 million people who voted Conservative at the last election and the whooping majority he won in the House of Commons. But make no mistake, confidence votes are almost always bad news for political leaders. So should it happen that he loses that, which really we think that he wouldn't. Let me say a good afternoon to Adekunle Mudik Adiza. Says well done Adekunle as well. Now, Jeremy Hunt, who is among those Tory MPs seen as potential candidate to replace the Prime Minister if a leadership contest takes place, has confirmed he will be voting against Mr. Johnson later. Remember Jeremy Hunt, at a point when Boris was coming in, he was the foreign secretary, and then he wanted that same post, but they were moving him to another place, and he said if they're moving him in that case, then he's not going to be standing in. So that's what happened there. But what do you think? It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. The former foreign secretary who stood unsuccessfully against Mr. Johnson in the 2019 Tory leadership election tweeted that the direction of the party leadership was not a debate I want to have now because of the war in Ukraine. But he added, Conservative MPs know in our hearts, we are not giving the British people the leadership they deserve. My question here this morning or this afternoon is it time for all this? In a time where there is war, rumors of war going on, and economic crisis going on, crisis when it comes to the Brexit negotiation that took place going on, what do you think we can do? Should the toppling of the Prime Minister be the top on the agenda, our priority at all? Or maybe let's look at the vaccines that were developed to save lives. Well, he was partying or overseeing parties in number 10. However, he was delivering, wasn't he? Well, don't bash me. Don't bash me. That is just by the way. Okay, so this is where we bring in the first part of the program to a close. As I said, we'll be crossing over to Cyprus, where we have HRH Linda Pallien, who is all lined up ready to come on the show to bring you Career 101. So stay tuned, don't you go away. This afternoon, there's going to be lots of music being played as well for you. More music, less talk will be taking place. And then this evening, exactly at 5 o'clock, we'll be having the one and only Regina Enima with On Point Show. And to be followed at 10 o'clock with another bunch of music coming your way. The Conscious Reggae Time with the one and only Dave West. So on that note, let me say thank you very much for the first part of the program. Don't you go away. We're going to be crossing over to Cyprus, where we have HRH Linda Pallien with all that you need to know when it comes to your career. Stay tuned.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
How are you?
Right, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very, very, very well. Very, very well. Thank you. Thank you. Did you have a nice weekend, though?
Yeah.
Great.
Very busy.
Oh. When this lady says she's busy, I tell you that she's very, very busy. And we are happy to have you with us this afternoon. What are we looking at?
So today we're looking at the topic that I spoke on over the weekend, called eliminating money worries from your career or business.
Ooh.
How to deal with money worries in your career and business.
How to deal with money worries in your career and business. Okay, before we go on that topic, let me ask you a question. What do you think about cryptocurrency?
I think it's an interesting development. I think the blockchain technology is really forward-thinking in terms of being able to bypass physical currency. However, in terms of the coins and the actual currencies, I'm yet to. I think. Okay, we can have technologies, right? But you sort of need the backing of the powers that be. And until that is the case, it seems like, yes, of course, you can have the greatest invention, but if it doesn't serve the interests of the powers that be, it's an uphill battle. Yeah. And I'm not entirely sure how this is going to be received or regulated just yet. So it's one of these sectors that I think in the short term there's money to be had, but nobody knows really how it's going to be received, and from one minute to the next, how it goes.
Okay, interesting. Well, listeners, HRH Linda Pallien for you, and today we are looking at how to deal with money worries in your career and business. All right. So, lady, let me leave the ball in your court and just crack the whip, and we will go on.
Fantastic. So, money worries or money anxiety is something that plagues, and of course, money is one of the taboo subjects that we've been discouraged from talking about for so long. So it still is. It's the reason why people doing the same level of jobs get different salaries, because you're discouraged to talk about it. And when whatever we resist persists, we know that. So I'll define money anxiety in this context as an unhealthy attitude towards engaging with or administering your personal finances. An unhealthy attitude that you have towards engaging with your personal finances. And this happens at every level of wealth. It's not just for people that don't have any of money, but it's also for people that have a lot of money. Right, so you have different money personalities where people are too frugal or don't want to talk about it, or too frivolous, and there's a lot of complexities that people develop towards money. But it's important we talk about it, especially in your career and business, because that usually is your measure of success. In your career, it's how much do you earn. In your business, it's what's the bottom line, what's the turnover, what's the profit. So I think it's really important to address this, especially in uncertain times.
Okay.
And we know that worrying doesn't help anything, right? Worrying is using your imagination to create what you don't want. But it's easier said than done. But here are some really compelling reasons why we need to take this seriously about worrying and how harmful it is for us in our career or business. The first reason is it wastes time. It wastes time. When you're worrying about something, your mental space isn't free to be creative. It drains your energy, therefore you can't even perform the task that you would be needed to perform to make that money quicker, because your energy is drained. So that's the first thing. The second thing is it steals your happiness, right? Sometimes we're so busy worrying about how to pay don't realize, oh well, here and now I have this time with my kids. Look at the smile on their face. You miss the small details because you're so fixated, and nobody knows whether you're going to be here at the end of the month to even know if that rent is your problem or not. So when you sort of chunk it into small details, you realize that you still got to be in the present, because most of the money incidents that hasn't even happened. Okay. Right? We've imagined them.
Linda, just hold on a minute, please. Listeners, just bear with us. I think we have a bit of interruption coming from I don't know whether it's Cyprus, the internet speed or something, but bear with us. We'll do our best. Once we are done, we'll edit the podcast to take that bit, and so that you can get the whole information that she's putting across. So please bear with us. Over to you, Linda.
Okay. Yes, I'm getting some feedback, especially in the sound as well. Okay, so the third harmful effect of worrying about money is some of the unhealthy consequences of it, in terms of you can't sleep, insomnia, which means, again, your energy is drained. There's a lot of tension, so you need to invest more in relaxation techniques and therapists. And also behavioral issues and addictions that it can lead to, which is long-term effects that you wouldn't normally have, in terms of drinking more or smoking more or other addictions that money worries leads to. And finally, the strain on your relationships, whether it's with your spouse, with your family, with your friends, with your boss, with your employees. But strained relationships, again, doesn't help with solving the money problem at hand. So now what I'd like us to look at is, what is the role of money in your life? What role does money play in your life? If we're going to deal with this money worry, we have to understand what we want the money for. It helps. Okay, so the first thing I would encourage everyone to do is definitely look at where you are in terms of what role money plays for you. Is it, for example, a means to make ends meet, which means it doesn't have that much of a hold on your value and your status, but it's a means to an end. I do this, I get some money for it, and that's it. So that's the first option. Is your fulfillment tied to it? That's the second thing, right? Is the prestige of how much do I earn? Is that where your fulfillment comes from? And if you're not earning that much and therefore you're not feeling fulfilled, can we shift the fulfillment to some other area of your life so that you don't feel lacking in that way? And finally, is it a status symbol for you? Right? Is money tied to your status and your perceived value of yourself? One. So a lot of people tend to invest, well, let's say spend on luxury items because it's attached to their perceived value of themselves. So understanding what role money plays in your life will help you to understand where you are at and how this affects you in terms of worry. If your perceived value of yourself is money and you don't have it, then maybe you could do some charity work that makes you feel better or a valuable member of society, so that maybe you're not giving to charity with money, but you're giving with time, and that fulfillment comes and you still have that status. So we really need to understand what role money plays in our lives, in our daily lives, and this can change, right? At one point you may be, it's value and it's my sense of worth, and it means this is how much my skills are worth in the marketplace, and that's fine. And at some point it might be now. So understanding where you are at right now would really help you to deal with the money worries or money anxiety. Now, bringing it back to career or business, I really want to touch on certain aspects that we don't talk about, right? And this bit I call, how much does your dream job or your dream opportunity cost? A lot of us will be approached every day by friends, family, social media, going, you should join this business, this person started and they're now making X amount. Or actually, I hear that this industry is really good and you don't even have to work as much and you can make it. Whatever it is, but opportunities are everywhere and we're constantly being presented with a load of opportunities, including promotions, right? You might be thinking, well, I'm working at this level and I have this promotion opportunity. So I really want you to understand and put a number on some of the intangible aspects that we don't think about. So for example, the first thing is benefits. How much is the health insurance or the retirement compared to where you're at now? Because that would help you make a decision of whether to leave your full-time job and pursue a part-time, or your full-time job and pursue a part-time opportunity, or stop working for someone and work for yourself, or stop working for yourself and work for someone. Whatever the opportunity is, what are the benefits that you're going to gain, and what's the opportunity cost of not doing it? Then also other hidden costs like wardrobe. For example, if you're doing video courses, you can't wear this. Have a different ideology, and that's wardrobe plays a huge part, especially for influencers and anyone that's working online, even Zoom calls, right? Now most people are working from home, and you probably need now to look a bit more presentable than you would do if you were working from your office where nobody came to see you or whatever, and if you're in meetings and you don't want to wear the same thing twice. These are hidden costs. It might sound insignificant, but it adds up, right? So you have to consider that if you're considering a job opportunity. food as well. Now you may not have access to the office vending machine, the free vending machine, or the free coffee. That's important too. If you're working from home, you might have to upgrade to a better Wi-Fi, so a higher tariff of Wi-Fi, or the best you can get. That might weigh on your cost too. So then you can weigh whether getting this new job is better than the old job, because of the other hidden costs that you might need to. Transport and location as well. You might be earning double, but maybe your commute time is longer. And how does that fit in with what you're looking to do? So let's try and put a monetary value on this, so we can make an informed decision when we're considering it.
Listeners, just bear with us. Yeah, go on, Linda, go on. Yeah. Go on, please.
Okay. Time spent on retraining, education, your home office setup. Can you even afford to have a home office now? Does that mean that you have to now put your kids out for daycare, or create a different space in their nursery for them? Whatever it is, hardware, software. Do you need a ring light and 2 phones right now? Or all of these other costs that's going to help you transition into this opportunity that you're considering. And then, of course, other intangible assets like family time and stress levels. Is this new job going to be more stressful than what you have now? And is this the right time to do it? If your family life is stressful as it is changing one thing going to you really have to weigh that out. And then we've got your creative independence as well. If now you're used to working on projects that you like, can you be creative on demand, or work to somebody else's specifications? We have other things like, if you're starting a business, if you're going to start a business, how much is it going to cost you to start, monetary wise? How long can your savings take you on for? When is break even for you? If you're going to break even in the next 6 months or a year, do you have a nest egg covered or put away to cover the shortfall of that? I was working with a client recently, and she was looking to change jobs. And she's always wanted to change her job. She's a family woman, she has a kid and a husband, and it's a new job and it's very exciting. Salary seems higher, but it's a job that comes from the UAE. So especially in uncertain times, in COVID times, is it first in, last out? Can they guarantee that if it's a new venture, if the venture doesn't, that she's going to have a job in 6 months? You know, as much as most employers can't do that, you need some sort of security in relation to where you're at. If it's a new job that you're going to quit your job and they're going to start this project, it doesn't work in 3 months, and then you're out of a job, then maybe it's not a great opportunity or a great risk to take at this time. Hidden costs that we need to factor in when we're looking at opportunities. And once we do that, it would really help with quelling those money worries and making us have a better idea or or make an informed choice of what we do when it comes to money.
Wow. Listeners, Starr Radio UK, HRH Linda Pallien, all the way from Cyprus. And today we are looking at how to deal with money worries in your career and business. I know, people are saying that, look, when it comes to money worries, my goodness, they've got a whole list of things that is worrying them when it comes to the finances. But one of the areas that you touched on that I want us to have a quick look at is, how much does your dream cost? Now, some dreams, like my dream job or my dream profession, some of them are colossal. costing it, and if you want to look at look for industry, the industry, and see that okay, this is what I'm expecting to be paid, and at a time because that industry, that particular firm cannot afford to do that, then what do you do?
Well, that's another firm. Sorry, I don't think I understood your question entirely.
Yeah, because you're talking about costing your dream job, how much it costs. Okay, so your training and everything has made you. So as we want to take on, or we want to employ a HRH Linda in a firm where she's going to be doing all her, knowing your value as a person. Now it will be difficult for you to go to a private entity or a group to say that let them employ you, and you think that they're going to be able to pay that sum of money that you think you are valued. So what do you do in that state?
Negotiate, for sure. If someone can't afford to pay you your value, there's this thing that I talk about called the money value exchange. The money value exchange, you really reciprocity. So if they can't give you 10 eggs and they can give you 5 eggs and maybe an apple, then you can give them 5 eggs and an apple's worth of service or product.
Okay.
There's always room to negotiate in terms of exchange, or maybe a referral, or maybe help me secure another contract. So you always, in your negotiations, you always can give instead of your time. But for example, if, as you were saying, someone wanted to use my services and couldn't afford the full package, then I could say, okay, well, in exchange for this, we will do this amount up onto this point that I'm comfortable with, to see whether it works for me, whether it's feasible for me to do this at this level. And then if it's not, we'll talk about it again. And this is exactly what we're talking about in terms of if you don't negotiate because you don't know your worth, or you feel like it's a taboo subject, or you're not going to tell them and you're going to sit at home and make it your spouse's problem. It really doesn't open that dialogue, but you really need to be honest with people about what's feasible for you. And sometimes you might be able to do something free in a short term, just as a taping session, and I'm not mad at that at all. Everybody has to do something like that at some point. But the worst thing is when you feel like you're being taken advantage of, because there's no exchange anymore. There's just a take
one-sided.
Exactly, then that's demoralizing for everybody, because you start to feel demotivated, so you don't do your best, and then they go, oh, they're not doing their best, they're not worth as much as they said they were, and then your name and your reputation goes down as well. So it's a lose-lose situation. So it really helps to be upfront. And also an example like Tesla, for example, you may have a dream job that really will cost the whole country giving you money to do that. And you have to factor that into, okay, well, who's done something maybe remotely similar in terms of expense or magnitude? How long did it take them to get an investor? What did they do? What documents or what proof do they need? How do they convince them? So all that research, and that will take time. And in the time that you're doing all of that stuff, nobody is paying you. So again, this is where the nest egg comes in. Can you afford to do that? Or maybe do that on a part-time basis for longer? This happens with writers a lot. A lot of writers will sit at home and they're broke and they can't even afford
the paper that they have to write on,
Exactly. So it's just, how long can I afford to do this? And sometimes that's a motivation, because you think, well, I've only got 6 months before my funds run out, so I better have.
Okay, listeners, HRH Linda Pallien, we apologize for the interruption there, but let me say good afternoon to Gina Latte, Salome Ado, Taiwo Samson, and all of you on the Facebook. Before we run up our conversation, now somebody is asking the question, now how do I cost myself or value myself? How do they do that? Do they have to okay, I went to uni, I went to preparatory school, I went to this secondary school, and I went there, you quantify all that, and then I've had a degree, I have a doctorate, I have and all that, and then you put it together and say, this is how much I am worth. Is that it?
This is a great question. Valuing yourself really starts from what benefits you can do a future extrapolation of. It's almost like forecasting, right? Mm-hmm. So you've done your prep school, you've got a degree, you've got this, you've done that, but also being honest with yourself. How independent are your skills from the real results? For example, if you're a project manager, your skills won't matter. It needs to be proportionate to the project. Okay, you couldn't go and ask for higher than the project is worth. So you've got to do some analysis in line with the market's value of the skills and services you provide, and find a medium ground that you're willing to work at. But if you know that I can do this with my eyes closed and I get results every time, then don't devalue yourself. A lot of the value will be proven with results. So whatever you do value yourself at, you have to be willing to back it up.
Okay. Wow. Listeners, Starr Radio UK. Now, you want further information, you want some more help when it comes to the job front or your career? Well, I've got a lady there for you. She's going to put her contact details across. Make sure you get in touch with her. Make sure. Okay? I always say this, in the abundance of water, it takes the fool to be thirsty. Only the fool to be thirsty. So make sure that you take advantage of what we are bringing to you this afternoon. So Linda, can you put your details and how our listeners can contact you across, please?
Absolutely. Contact me please via hello@lindapallien.com. hello@lindapallien.com. Send me an email. Archie.com. Social media @lindapallien. That's LINDAPALLIEN @lindapallien on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter.
Okay. Linda, let me say a massive thank you to you, and we are always grateful when you come our way to bring us all this information that we need to make sure that we get to the height that God prepared for us, or destiny has for us.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a blessed day. We'll catch up later.
You too.
All right. Bye. Listeners, once again, I sincerely apologize for the interruption there in the internet provision. My apologies sincerely for that. But that's why we bring the program to a close. Like I said earlier on this afternoon, we're going to bring you a mixture of sounds there, from jazz to R&B to Afrobeat, name it. We're going to be bringing that your way. So make sure you continue to keep your dials locked on Starr Radio UK. At 5 o'clock exactly, On Point will be coming your way with Empress Regina and Amakras. They'll be bringing you all that you need to know, and you'll be followed by the Diva Show, or with the Diva Show at 7 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock we have Dave West coming your way with the Conscious Reggae Time. So this and a lot more going to be coming your way. I want to say thank you to all of you who tuned in this morning, those of you watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, Periscope, and all the other platforms. We want to say thank you. Have a wonderful day. And so, it's me. Yes, enjoy this music before I go away. And this is from the Dimapur Nagaland. He said, don't worry, be happy. When that song ends and you don't hear from us, there's been me, Archie. I'll be back here with Ms. Olayomi Koike and all the team tomorrow morning, again bringing you another morning show. Thank you very much and God bless.
Thanks for listening.